You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Hello, welcome to Japanese. I'm your host Aki Katayama, a food writer and the director of the New York Japanese Culinary Academy, which promotes a deeper understanding of Japanese cuisine in America. We are broadcasting live from Brooklyn, New York. This show is all about Japanese food and food culture. We see sushi at every day on the supermarket, but what is beyond sushi? We hear dashi ramen izakaya, but what exactly are they? Japanese food is still mystery for many people, and I try to demystify it in this program with my good guests. My guest today is Kakuho Aoe, who is the chief Buddhist priest of Ryokusenji Temple in Asakusa, Tokyo. When we think of the Buddhist practice, we tend to imagine meditation is the core part of practitioners' daily life. But food is equally an essential part of the Zen practice in Japan. And not many Buddhist priests pay attention to food as much as Kakuho. To him, food is an important medium to educate and inspire people in the world about mindful life and sustainability. So today we'll discuss why food is important in the Buddhist practice, why the Buddhist diet called Shojin Ryori is a great diet for vegan, vegetarian, and sustainable-minded people, regardless of their religion, intriguing eye-opening dinner events, Kuayami Gohan, which is dining in the dark, and much, much more. But before we start, Japanese is available on the Heritage Radio Network website, as well as on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify as a podcast. So please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, whichever you listen to, and subscribe to Japanese. Please write a review. We'd really appreciate your feedback. And also, just quickly, I wanted to talk about the Heritage Radio Network, or HRN, which is the organization that produces this podcast. HRN started in 2009 in 2 shipping containers placed within the one and only coolest pizza place for writers in Bushwick, Brooklyn. It was founded by Patrick Martins, also the founder of the Slow Food USA. We are non-profit and our only podcast network dedicated to food, beverages, and the culinary world. And HRN brings listeners free podcasts on everything from the artistry of baking to the craft of brewing, the complexity of cheesemongering, to the challenges of solving climate change, and not to mention Japanese food culture. So please help us to produce meaningful shows by going to heritageradionetwork.org/donate. Thank you so much. And let's start a conversation with Kakuho Aoe. Right. So this is exciting. We haven't often get a chance to invite Buddhist priest to our show. So this is exciting. So first of all, to get to know you, where are you from and what did you eat when you grew up?
Okay, so I'm born in the temple and grow up in the temple. So my meals were maybe Shojin cuisine. I will tell you Shojin cuisine about later. And it is the Buddhist temple cuisine. However, the Shojin cuisine is just a vegetarian, only vegetables. So my parents worry about this plant-based diet might not provide enough nutrition for the kids. So they would occasionally add meat or fish and sometimes eggs on my meals. This practice is continuing today, where children living in my temple typically have meat or eggs or extra dish like a fish, deep fried fish, with the basic temple food. So I usually cooking the temple foods and I eat rice, pickles, some 3 dish of the vegetarian food. And we eat it. Adult people eat it, but the kids are eating sometimes with the sausage, the maybe fish and meat with those kind of temple food.
Interesting. So, but actually, the second question is related to how did you get into Buddhism? But sounds like you were born into the Buddhism, right?
Mhm.
So, your background, basically, your family as also already, running a temple. Is that what it was?
Yes. So I was born in the temple and I would expect to be a Buddhist monk some days, or inherit to the temple someday. On the other hand, I actually didn't want to that, how can I say, pressure. So when I was young, I was in the college. I went to the United States to study business. So I went to the MBA school in California. I went to the California State University, Fresno, because I thought that if I went abroad, went out of the Japan, I wouldn't have to take over the temple. So I kind of escaped from my, what can I say, family business. Is that a good word?
I think that the temple, running a temple is definitely a business. I think
Oh,
it's a very
that's
difficult one
it.
too.
Well, I just wonder the it's kind of religious things. Can I say the business or not? So, but well, maybe you know the meaning of the family business in it.
Mm.
Mhm.
Right. So you had, well, it sounds like a very easy, right strategy. You cannot bring your temple abroad. So you went to
Mhm.
California to earn an MBA. So you pay attention to whatever you do, the family business. So what happened? Like we could discuss deeply later, but not many Buddhist priests pay attention to food as much as you do, and you are very active in teaching and inspiring people through what they eat and how they eat. So when and why did you start paying attention to food? And even before that, started to think of going back to run the temple business. I should say, follow the Buddhism teaching.
Well, it was one happening because, well, at everybody, we experienced September 11 attacks.
Mm.
Before that, I was doing my work for the selling aromatherapy. When I was the MBA student, our team made a company for selling aromatherapy.
Mm.
And at that moment, I'm just aiming for the earning money. So this month, we earn $1,000. The next month, $2,000. After that, 3,000, 4,000, growing up, 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 up. Just we're aiming for continue selling or continue earning. But at that moment, the September 11 attacks had happened. That is big incident for me, well, actually for everybody. At that moment, it was I had my mental problem, and I cannot continue working at that moment.
Mm.
And my friend as well, my teammate as well. So we decide to stop our business. And before that moment, I don't care about Japanese culture, Japanese Buddhism. Well, not Japanese, the Buddhism itself or the cultural stuff. But after September 11, what is my basic? I was thinking about my basement or basic or
Mm.
uh, fundamental stuff. So I quit my business and going back to Japan and study Buddhism. That is the turning point for me.
Right. So what I heard is that you received MBA from California State University, Fresno in 2003. So it was 2 years after the 9/11 happened in 2001. So I'm, I think it's like I was in New York too when
Mhm,
9/11 happened.
mm.
This really takes a very different path to resolve with it. And in your case, you kind of maybe it was a, I mean, even now, looking back, we can say that. But some people got good turning point to realize what life is about. And, today is today. You live today, and you have to
Mhm.
focus on what you are supposed to do. So sounds like you really, because you are here in America and 9/11, you really got inspiration from your life mission. Yes. So, yeah, I think it's a very interesting story, and I'm sure your family is very happy you decided to come back home.
I don't know that.
I'm sure. And then, so in discussing food in the Buddhist practice, which you are really focused on, we need to talk about the important book called Tenzo Kyokun. So,
Okay.
what is Tenzo Kyokun? What is the essence of this book?
Okay. The Tenzo Kyokun is a book written about 800 years ago by monk Dogen Zenji, and it outlined mindset needed when preparing food or cooking food. In Shojin Ryori, there are certain things you don't eat, such as meat, fish, and dairy products. In addition, we avoid strong smelling vegetables also, like onions, garlic, leeks, and chives. But how is this different from veganism? The key difference is the mindset behind the cooking. So when we cook, we must do with three essential mind or attitude. The three mind is that one is kissing, and two is roshing, and three is taishing. And I will tell you, uh, and kissing is, I have to say, the joyful mind. And this is the mind that joy in the opportunity to cook. We accept the role of cook with gratitude. And while cooking, we wish for the happiness of the people who will eat the meal. For example, okay, if I'm preparing food for a group, and that group is just first time for me, and I think it might be cooking for them as the last time I ever cook anyone, and we'll never cook the same situation. So this is a precious moment. This is only time in my life. So this must be the joyful moment, and I'm accepting this joyful moment. So the cooking itself is a precious thing. This kind of the mindset is, we call it kissing, the joyful mind. And the next one is roshing. This is the compassionate mind. And this is mind that thinks of the people eating the food and cook with compassion. We don't cook based on our own convenience or preferences, but adjust cooking method and season to suit for the taste and needs for the people we are cooking for. We also extend this compassion to the ingredient itself. For example, okay, when I'm cooking like a luscious ingredient like truffle, or something simple like carrot skins, peels, we recognize that all ingredients are life. So we cook with same level of care and attention. For example, usually we're cooking with a truffle. Wow, it's expensive. It's like $1,000. Wow, I have to cooking carefully. I don't just take cut and waste it to the garbage. I don't want to do that. But the carrot skin is a very, very affordable one, but I have the very cheap one, and I just cut it. Wow, it's dropped, and okay, go to garbage now. But both are life itself. We have not to change our mind. So this is the mind of the compassionate, Roshin. And the third one is Taishin. I said great mind. This is a mind calm and big as a mountain. We cook without letting personal judgment or basis. Oh, no. The judgment or bias, so whether we are using high quality ingredient or less desirable ones, like the truffles and the carrot skin. And the attitude toward cooking remains the same, regardless materials or situation. So, for example, cooking. Okay, the great mind. Maybe I have to say small mind. It's easy because, okay, for example, when I go to the supermarket and I purchase a bag of carrot and take to my kitchen and I take out from the bag one carrot. Okay, this is a good carrot. The second carrot, wow, it's nice carrot. And third carrot, and I found it rotten. I may think about, oh my goodness, the carrot is rotten. Oh, I don't like that supermarket. I don't want to go there anymore. That is a small mind. Well, it happens sometimes. That's okay. So if the mind did not moves easily, that is the big mind. Well, because the kitchen is sometimes very dangerous. We have knives, we have fire, we have boiling water, boiling oil sometimes. And okay, so when I deep frying something now, and the somebody's calling me, brrr, and I think, oh my goodness, why are you calling me at this moment? This is a small mind. And if you have a small mind in kitchen, it's danger. Sometimes it happens accident. So we need a big and great mind. It's a great mind. It's like a mountain. We don't move our mind easily. So we could escape from such kind of incidents.
No, and those three are important principles: the joy of heart and compassionate heart and the great heart. You mentioned three, and it's not about cooking, right? It's all about what do you do every day on a daily basis, like every minute. It's you have to be. It reminded me the first one, the joyful heart. It's like a gratitude, and the tea ceremony or ichigo ichie. So this is the only moment you can share with someone else, and you appreciate that moment with this person, this time of the day, this time of the year. It never happens, so you really appreciate it. And then I thought the compassionate heart. That's also a kind of omotenashi, or Japanese
Okay.
hospitality. You think of someone else mind, and it's just for someone, and it feels good, right? If you do something for someone else, not for yourself. Somehow it's like human beings are made to be very grateful by acting for someone else. And the last one, great heart, it's really acceptance, right? So something happens, but you can change it. So you just chill out and step back, and you just see, what do you what I can do today, and the life becomes much more enjoyable and successful. So yeah, these are very, very important life lessons, and I, I appreciate you mentioned these three. So the gratitude, compassion, and the calmness. So yeah, I have to remember these things. So
Oh
thank
yeah,
you.
thank you very much. So you said there's a life lesson. So yes, this is a good word, the life lessons. So the Shojin Ryori, the difference between the vegetarian cuisine and the Shojin Ryori is the Shojin Ryori is from the Buddhism, and that is including life lessons with cooking.
Mm. Yeah, before, Dogen
Mm.
wrote that Tenzo Kyoken, this important book, people used to think that the cooking is just like second level practice, the training, and kind of like, yeah, just the cooking. But it is the essence, and we are all made by what we eat. So it's the whole process of mental, spiritual training by cooking. And I really think this is something we should all remember, even if we're not practicing Buddhism. So this is really great. All right, so we'll take a quick break here, and when I come back, we'll discuss the healthy, sustainable Buddhist diet called Shojin Ryori more deeply. So please stay with us.
Today's program is brought to you by Korin, a supplier of Japanese chef knives and restaurant supplies. Korin is proud of their Japanese culture and traditions, but they want you to know that their products are not just for Japanese restaurants. Their knives and tableware bring out the best qualities of food from every culture and fit into every restaurant from French to Pan-Asian to American. And that is why they're located in New York City, where people from every country in the world come to eat. Korin's Tribeca showroom is home to the most extensive collection of Japanese chef knives in the world, including Japan. Stop by to view their exquisitely designed tableware and the rarest natural sharpening stones. They have a whole range of knife services from repair and rust removal to reshaping and realigning. Korin is dedicated to this ideal, bringing the highest quality Japanese design to your table so you can experience the unparalleled quality of Japanese craftsmanship in your home or restaurant. For more information, visit Korin.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Japanese on HRN, Heritage Radio Network. I'm your host, Katayama, and my guest today is Kakuho Aoe, who is the chief Buddhist priest of the Ryokusenji Temple in Asakusa, Tokyo. He teaches a unique Buddhist approach to food to a global audience. So, you cook Shojin Ryori as a part of your Buddhist practice. So, by definition, what is Shojin Ryori? You mentioned earlier, but by definition, what is it? The difference between vegetarian, vegan, the Shojin Ryori, they are, you have like a specific vegetables that you cannot include, meaning like, is it more strictly, controlled kind of diet than other plant-based diet, like vegetarian, vegan? What do you think? I just want our listeners to understand in overall picture. Shojin Ryori is a word. You can go to Shojin Ryori restaurant, but is it, what's the difference from other plant-based cuisine?
Basically, Shojin means a practice. So a practice is practicing be a monk. So the Shojin cuisine is the Shojin cuisine is not just cooking food, and cooking is also the practicing be a monk or practicing with thinking about the life. So that is the Shojin Ryori by definition. So Shojin Ryori is different from not that different from Shojin Ryori, and Shojin Ryori is the with life lessons.
So it's more of the subject of what to eat is not the focus. It's more of what do you kind of create through plant-based. And then there are rules, right? It's like, why don't you eat meat or fish or dairy or those strong flavored vegetables like garlic and scallions? What are the foundational mindset, the reasons not to eat those spices and items you don't eat in Shojin Ryori?
I actually don't know the history of why we don't eat the fish, meat, and some specific vegetable like the onion, garlic, such as the smell stuff. But I read a lot of book, and some books says, yeah, okay. So for example, the smell stuff like the onion, garlic, when we eat that kind of vegetables, it is tasty, but it's a lot of smell. And during training, we are living very, very small room, and right next door, somebody is sleeping in my just the next door. So if I eat a lot of garlic and leeks, my should I, how can I say? Am I smell?
Mm.
Uh, well,
Yeah, you
am
don't
I
make good friends with other
the
monks. Right. Well, like
yeah?
it says that you don't kill animals, and that's the Buddhist mindset for centuries. But what I heard is those spices like a chili pepper or garlic and scallions. Those things tend to um, stimulate your emotion too much elevated and just really distract the calmness of your mind. That's what I heard. I'm not sure how true it is. I'm not who scientifically checked it, but and that's the idea. So the shojin ryori doesn't allow you to eat that spicy or some kind of strong flavored items that can stimulate your kind of elevated emotional state. So sounds like the out of vegetarian, vegan, or some other plant-based options, shojin ryori seems um, making sense to use for very healthy body and physical and mental state. So that's what I understand. So by the way, you believe that shojin ryori is very approachable and easy to enjoy, uh, and regardless of where you live in the world and what religion. So could you tell us why shojin ryori is a global diet?
Well, I think the Shojin Ryori is the good for the 3 point, and one is the Shojin Ryori is a as I said, we don't use meat and fish and several the specific vegetables. That means everybody can eat the Shojin Ryori. For example, the New York is a diverse place for everybody's gathering. For example, the one people is saying, well, because of my religion, I can't eat pork. And one said, because of religion, I can't eat beef. And one said, because of my religion, I can't eat mixed meat and like the both pork and beef. And one said, I'm vegetarian, one is vegan, one is blah, 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 blah. And well, if somebody's having a party, so what should I cook? That is a big problem, is it? But that moment, if we prepare shojin ryori, that is, everybody can eat it, including everything. So this is a good opportunity for everybody for one dish. So this is the first one. The second one is because Shojin cuisine is, as I said, we cook with several mind. The one of the mind is compassionate mind, and that means even the peel of the carrot, we feel that is a life itself. So we use everything, like the skin of the carrot, peel of carrot, a stem of the eggplant, or the seed of the bell pepper, everything, because everything is or was alive itself, and we don't want to waste the life because we have to eat something, and the something was 100% life itself. So we don't want to waste anything. That means we don't waste any ingredient. So, because the world needs SDGs, for example, Shojin Ryori, Shojin cuisine is cooking without any wasted. So that is good for the society or good for the city environment, maybe.
Right. Yeah, especially I think, like you said in New York City, it's like anything goes, right? Who can eat whatever it matters. And there are restaurants specialized in each kind of cuisine or diet. But yeah, if you're surrounding one table and people want together and they share the same taste, I think Shojin is really ideal. And like you said, sustainability is very important, right? So it's things like, for example, I like, the broccoli stem and I like the thick part and cook very long time. It melts in your mouth. That kind of thing is just you don't even expect. It should be thrown away, but it's not. And those eye-opening moments come from, I think, often from shojin ryori or some other plant-based food. And I think it's very exciting to be able to think about what's possible to be able to eat. And especially nowadays, we have to think about sustainability which is very, very important. I mean, on a daily basis, we started to see the climate change. So, Yeah, that's a great idea to see the world through Shojin Ryori mindset because you can see what's possible at your table. Right. So could you give us some examples of Shojin Ryori dishes made with maybe non-Japanese ingredients or something available easily in the places outside of Japan?
Okay, maybe in places in New York.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Okay, for example, I usually make the fried eggplant fritters. So normally, the people peel the eggplant, peel the skin, and maybe just go to the garbage for the skin or stem. But I cook everything. So I put the flour on the skin and deep fry it. So maybe it's like a crunchy, what can I say, the cracker. It's like a crunchy crackers. And
Mm.
I put a seasoning on the eggplant itself and deep fry it. And it is like, well, this is exactly eggplant fritters. And
Mm.
also, we still have the stems of the eggplant. So I just put in the oil and slowly deep fry it. It's like wow, just the hard stem of the eggplant changed to great taste. So I put a little bit salt and eat it. So that
Mm.
means we eat everything for the whole eggplant. So no waste anymore.
Mm.
Plus, we already have the three dishes. So that is very good for the economy as well.
Mm, right. Yeah, but 3 dishes out of just 1 ingredient. Yeah, so well, that continuing on that no waste concept, you appeared in a documentary film, Mottainai Kitchen, which came out last year, and the subtitle "Don't Waste, Cook It." So I think the idea of mottainai is important to understand what the shojin ryori is about. And I just want to ask you, could you tell us what the concept of mottainai is?
Mottainai is a Japanese concept, Japanese word that means don't waste. Referring to something that could be used for appreciated, but it's wasted instead. Whether it's meat, fish, vegetable, everything was alive. Told you before, and we are because we have to eat that kind of life, so we have to respect the life, and we naturally avoid waste. This is the essence of mottainai.
Mm, right. And I think when I think of Japanese people's conversation, we often say mottainai. So it's like a deep rooted mindset. Don't waste it. So yeah, I think it's a cool word, mottainai. And you have been teaching Shojin Ryori through events and various media like books and TV. So, for example, you gave a presentation at the G7 summit in Hiroshima in May 2023 to introduce Shojin Ryori to a global audience, really global. So, do you have resources in English if our listeners want to learn more about Shojin Ryori?
Okay, there are so many books available on Shojin Ryori in English, so I encourage people to look them up. Maybe you can find it in the Amazon, but the best way to learn is actually experience. So, if you go to the Tokyo or Kyoto or Osaka, they have a lot of restaurants or a lot of temples where you can enjoy authentic Shojin cuisine. So, I recommend visiting to Japan.
Mm, right. And actually, if you look up on Google, like type in Shojin Ryori restaurants, there are many. I used to be fewer, but I think because of the boom of Japanese tourism, after COVID, especially in the last couple of years, you can find a bunch in Tokyo and Kyoto and I think throughout the country. So I think it's a great thing to just experience. Otherwise, very hard to imagine, right? What's the difference between you create your own dishes at home, which is plant based, versus shojin ryori that you've been describing? It's very spiritual, and you learn something from the attitude of making it, eating it with gratitude, and the compassion and calmness. So, and this is another big topic I wanted to discuss. So you organize truly interesting Shojin Ryori dinners called Kuayami Gohan. So what is it, and what can you experience and learn from the dinner event?
Okay, so I had the event named the Kuayami Gohan. Kuayami Gohan is the dining in the dark. It's the event where the participants wear eye masks with the eye masks and eat in the completely in the dark. So I would make a dish one by one, and everybody's eat. Okay, what is this? What is this? Is it a tomato? No, 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 no. It is a cucumber, something like that. And why I start this event? This is the modern. We are living the modern life, and the modern life is very busy. And the Japanese culture, it is very rude for eating with doing something. For example, and when I was very young, when I eating food and reading books, and my parents said, "Okay, don't do that. It's rude." But because the society make us very busy, maybe you are eating, for example, breakfast with thinking something. For example, you may think about, okay, today I have meeting at 10 in the morning. Okay, I didn't print out the paper, so I have to do that before that. Okay, yes, I have a mail. Last night I got the mails, but I didn't reply the mail. I have to do that before that. Okay, afternoon I have meeting the presentation for that. Okay, I have to do that. Okay, I need to do blah 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 blah. Okay, in this moment, eating with thinking. So maybe you are not think really about the food itself or think really about the eating itself, but think about other things. That because we are busy, dining in the dark is with eye mask, we can see anything, and we have to concentrate food or concentrate to eat. So just tasting, okay, what is this? Okay, can I eat it? Is it edible thing? Well, we have to think a lot of things while eating. So that is because our busy modern life, we need this kind of event.
Mm,
And of course, during the dining in the dark, we don't use cell phone, the smartphone as well. So
mm.
it is kind of we mostly concentrate to the in front of you.
Interesting, right? So sometimes you try to listen to music more carefully. You close your eyes without knowing you're doing it. Or I've been to many wine tasting events for my writing, and then when I close my eyes, I smell better and I can analyze, and my words come out more than when my eyes are open. And that's very, very noticeable, to myself. So if you have a dinner, um, just whole eyes closed and you smell, I think your sense is going to open up. And maybe after one dinner, you could be more aware of the importance of the eating the moment. You may stop reading a book or checking email, doing something on your phone as you eat. So I thought it was really cool. So who has participated in Kuayami Gohan so far, and what kinds of feedback have you received from the participants?
Okay, because we have the more than 10 years, it like more than almost 20 years we had this event. So thousands of people have participated in dining in the dark. From children program to business seminar and even elder people gathering at the temple. And this is unique. The feedback is always diverse. Some people said the food tastes more intense, and while others feel like opposite. So that is very unique event, I think. And one participant said this experience is truly mindfulness in practice. And who's talking is the participant is John Kabat-Zinn. He is a mindful leader in the United States. So he is also a participant in Diner in the Dark.
Okay, so that means it's a really worth participating experience, the whole thing. And so if our listeners want to participate in your Kakuho Gohan, I think your website is the one, right? That's luxenji.net. It's only in Japanese, but is that the only place you can find the update?
I actually put the role to doing the Diner in the Dark for the another group, and the group name is Nakamichi. So you can check the internet with nakamichi.world, and you will check the information about the Diner in the Dark in the website.
Right. That's the Nakamichi is NAKAMICHI.world is only Japanese too, right?
The next coming April, it will have the both Japanese and English.
Okay. Right. So that's listeners, if you're interested, it's nakamichi.world, NAKAMICHI.world. Okay. So what are your plans and dreams?
Okay, last year I held Shojin Ryori event in Luxembourg, Hong Kong, and New York. So I want to continue spreading Shojin Ryori worldwide. And this year I hope to visit California and New York. And New York again because I love the New York when I go to the New York. It was a very good place. And California, and that where I studying, I go back to the United States again.
Yeah, I think, well, we've been talking in the context of Buddhism, but what you've been talking about is very global. It's about how we want to live every day, and food is at the center of it. It's as a practice point. And so I think it's going to be great. Please keep me posted on your trips to the States and other places in the world. So where can we find your updates on online and on social media?
Okay, I update my Facebook and Instagram, and currently I post in Japanese, but I plan to start sharing more information in English soon.
Okay, so currently, it's even with Japanese mostly. It's Kakuho Naoe underscore Nakamichi 0316. So that's right. So Kakuho Naoe Kakuho Naoe underscore Nakamichi 0316. Okay, so good luck. And yeah, I think what you're doing is amazing. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you in New York sometime this year.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much. So listeners, if you have any questions or comments about the show or suggestions for show topics or guests, please contact us at japaneats@heritageradionetwork.org or at kikotema.com. Japaneats is a weekly program and is always available at heritageradionetwork.org, as well as on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify as a podcast. I'm Gina Gabriel Jane, and thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.